This is a highly sophisticated office computer, and to use it, all you have to do is learn this. This is Macintosh from Apple, also a highly sophisticated office computer. To use it, all you have to do is learn this. Now, you decide which one is more sophisticated.
So if you watch the Winter Olympics, you'll be seeing those about 2 to 3 times a night. Now, you know that over 70% of all the computers used in education are Apples? And that makes us feel really good, because we care a lot about that. And it's a great leverage point for the Apple II as well. And most of them are, of course, in kindergarten through 12th grades, because that's where most of the schools are, and those schools have bought computers faster than the colleges. But a year ago, we went in search of about half a dozen colleges and universities throughout America that would be using a large number of personal computers in 1984, and large meant greater than 1,000. And we didn't find a half a dozen. We found 24 major colleges and universities. And we announced this last Tuesday the Apple University Consortium, which is formed of those 24 colleges and universities. All the 7 Ivy League schools are a part of this. They have placed over $50 million worth of orders today for Macintoshes. And they're going to be doing courseware development, leading the way really for over 3,000 schools in this country. And they're telling us that Macintosh is the ideal college computer. So we think you're going to see lots of Macintoshes on college campuses. And here's a list of them: Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, Brown, on and on. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of Macintoshes on campuses. Now, when we designed the Apple II, we designed it in a garage, but what most people don't know is we designed it to be built in a garage. And we figure if we ever made 50 of them a month, we'd be doing well. And we surpassed that goal this last December by over 2,000. We shipped over 100,000 Apple IIs in December. But what we wanted to do with Macintosh was make it the first personal computer that was designed from the start to be built in the millions. There's never been a personal computer that you could say this about. And let me show you how a Macintosh is built. We start off with a front bezel. This is the most highly tooled piece of plastic that we've ever done. And we lay it face down. We attach a stamped metal frame to it, and we attach the cathode ray tube. And then we add the one analog board, which has the entire high-definition video electronics and the entire lightweight switching power supply that we pioneered with the II. And then we add the 3.5-inch disk drive and a shield surrounding that drive. And then we add the one board containing the entire 32-bit graphics processing digital computer. It's less than 10 inches square. We attach the cables, and with 4 screws we put on the rear case. Macintosh is tilted up for the first time and ready to go into an automated burn-in. After the burn-in, the keyboard and the mouse are added. And our challenge is to do this once every 27 seconds. Now, in order to do this, we designed Macintosh every step of the way for manufacturability. But in addition to that, in addition to just designing the machine, in the last year and a half, we've designed and built the machine to build the machines. We've spent over $20 million on the computer industry's first automated factory. It's in Fremont, California, and it overlooks Ford and GM. And just to give you some feeling for the factory, it's based on 2 simple concepts: just-in-time delivery of zero-defect parts, and it's a process which allows extremely high-volume production of extremely high-quality computers. These are just some factory shots that we pulled out. We are currently making over 500 Macintoshes a day in this factory, and we will be ramping up to 1 every 27 seconds within the next few months. Now, Macintosh was developed by a small team of people, less than 100, and you're going to have a chance to meet and ask several of them some questions tonight. And this group of people, they're more like artists than they are engineers. They're not really interested in careers. What they're interested in is doing something insanely great and then getting it out into the world to leverage their energy. And they were able to leverage the resources of a billion-dollar company in developing Macintosh. And I've never in my life had the privilege of working with such a fine group of people. And we think, Macintosh has changed our lives. working with it over the last few years, and we think it's going to change the lives of millions of people that buy them. And we made a slideshow, mostly for ourselves, I suppose, to sort of capture the spirit of this crazy group of people. And I'd like to show it now, and you can get some idea of what I'm talking about.
We started in a very tight-knit, small group, and we had this dream. It was sort of us against the rest of the world. But we started working on it, and us 5, 6, 7 people believed in the dream, and eventually it sort of grew.
The machine is based on the Motorola 68000 microchip.
When we started working on Macintosh, we really wanted to get a unique synergy.
Firstly, there's 128K bytes of dynamic RAM. There's 64K bytes of ROM.
No compromise. Do it right. Do it really good, the way you would want it, and then figure out how to make it cheap so people can afford it.
The display is a bitmap display. It has 512 by 342 dots.
And we all loved the machine so much that everybody was interested in the whole picture.
There is an interface for an external disk drive already built into Macintosh.
What I've particularly enjoyed about working with the people on the Macintosh project is the spirit of cooperation between the groups and individuals.
There's an engraving that is on the inside of the back cover of the Macintosh case that has everyone's signature that worked on the original design.
We looked at every detail, every small thing. Will this work in France? Will it work in Japan? When you're working on something as wonderful as Macintosh, you want to bring it out to the whole world.
It will come out and it will be, I think, several years ahead of its time. It is the best possible thing that could be done today.
You know, when people ask us who is Macintosh for, we like to say that the market for Mac is the desk. Over the last few years, we've sold between 750,000 and 1 million Apple IIs, and that seems like a really large number, but even a bigger number is 25 million, and that's the number of knowledge workers in the United States alone who are sitting behind desks every day doing their work. And the way they do their work really hasn't changed since probably the start of the Industrial Revolution. So our marketing goal is really very simple, is to create a product that'll improve the life at the desk, to appeal to this vast group of people who know very little about computers at all. First of all, the Macintosh will have to be a very, very powerful computer because it has to handle lots of information processing problems for the knowledge workers. So the brains of the computer is the Motorola 68000, a 32-bit microprocessor. Our second concern has to do with ease of learning and ease of use. We've taken the mystery out of computers when you learn how to use a Macintosh. Our third concern is with the actual physical package, the thing you touch and hold. We want Macintosh to be the first desk appliance that sits with you at your desk in your office place. And last of all, we know we have to provide lots of very real solutions to those people at the desk. So we've come up with a wide variety of very good software applications like word processing, spreadsheets, databases, accounting packages, and because we're Apple, we'll be sure and toss in a few great games so you can have fun when the boss is not around. And in the years to come, we expect literally hundreds of new Macintosh applications to come from all the leading software houses all around the world. You know, for us in the Macintosh group, the product is like this torch being carried into a pitch black room. We like to say that it's simply incredibly, insanely great. Here, let me show you what I mean.
It's like the cursor's not connected to the mouse anymore. It's connected to your hand, and you're just moving your hand around.
Pointing with your finger.
The user doesn't have to get mucked up in the mechanics of how they want to do what they have to do. They can just go and do it and make it look neat and wonderful.
When you turn on Mac, What appears before you is a crisp black and white picture with a little bar across the top with words that suggest things you might be able to do.
When you find the command that you want to execute, you simply let up on the button of the mouse and that command will be executed.
A great number of the things that you see are little pictures called icons, symbols that actually allow a user to perform an operation that the symbol represents.
One of the starting points of Mac software is Bill Atkinson's amazing Quick Draw graphics package that's the heart and soul of not only Macintosh but Lisa. The reason we have multiple fonts is because the world has multiple fonts. We emulate the real world by providing a variety of type styles, just like you'd see in any well-typeset manual or book.
We built a machine that would be fun for us to use.
And fun doesn't just mean playing games. Fun means using a word processor, using a spreadsheet can be fun too.
Part of what we really want to do is recreate the Apple II phenomenon. There are several thousand extremely bright and talented software developers doing software for the Apple II, and it's an incredible competitive advantage.
In the software business, volume is everything. You want to be able to sell onto a large set of machines. Microsoft is choosing this Apple Macintosh environment because over time the other environments won't be interesting.
The technology that's in Macintosh makes it possible for us to move the state of the art ahead in software. We can really do something that's of value to people, to lots and lots of people, that we simply couldn't do before. And that's what's exciting, and that's why we're in business.
So we're going to devote at least half of our R&D resources developing software specifically for the Macintosh. And I wouldn't do that unless I really believed in, one, the product, and secondly, that we had a chance to have an outstanding relationship with Apple.
The manufacturing philosophy behind Macintosh started out as being able to find a way to make a truly high-quality, low-cost personal computer.
And that way is focusing on a quality improvement process. This improvement process has two key ingredients. And the first being quality, being defined as conformance to requirements. And the second being a performance standard that focuses on zero defects.
So we've designed this whole process, the whole factory, at the same time as the product and with the product. And we're going to be making a computer every 27 seconds. That's 1,000 computers in an 8-hour shift.
And the way we're going to accomplish this high volume is through our working relationships with our vendors. And these relationships will focus on delivering us 100% quality parts.
Excited about is that we know Mac is sort of the next big revolution in the kind of tool that we can give to every person. When you think about it, you know, over 750,000 people, well over 1 million people by the time Mac is introduced, will have gone through the less than fun experience of having to learn at least 50 bizarre words, and will have had to have remembered dozens of sequences of esoteric commands. And I think once a tool like Mac hits, which eliminates the need for that, then you're going to see the numbers jump from really hundreds of thousands to millions to tens of millions. And that's what this next revolution is all about.
maybe that'll give you some sort of an idea of what went on in 2 years to make this thing. Macintosh, as you know, was probably one of the worst kept secrets in the world. But one of the best kept secrets was that we didn't just introduce one standalone product again. We introduced a family of 4 new 32-bit products this week. And we introduced Lisa a year ago, and it clearly captured the imagination and set the technical direction of the industry. It didn't capture as many desks as we wanted to. But it's clear that everyone's running in the direction of mice and windows and icons, and you've seen Vision, and you're seeing sort of the early part of MS Windows, and even a rumored IBM Windwing package. But what we introduced, in addition to Macintosh, were 3 new Lisas. And the first one was Lisa 2. It has a 0.5 megabyte of RAM and a 3.5-inch disk, totally compatible with Macintosh. And we introduced it at $3,495, just $1,000 more than Macintosh. The second Lisa is Lisa 2.5. It added a 5 megabyte profile Winchester disk drive, and that was only $1,000 more again, $4,495.